Hey guys, so okay, welcome back to the letter. Let's continue with Marianne's chapter. Whew.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
She's smashed.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
And I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up and I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually cracking one eye open, just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then. Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Ah, here we go. Slipping. Haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behave... You what? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. The feelings had a taste. It'd be bitterer than the beer I'm full of. And it gets me thinking, though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
I'd say you were the patient one, Luke, but thank you all the same.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something... As och day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
Uh-oh, don't bring Isabel's name into this.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up-chucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking Wright, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either.
Oh god, I don't know how people can get this drunk, eh?
I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere.
Oh god, please don't do that.
When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
If I was in Luke's position, like looking at Marianne from the outside, you'd just be like, you'd write her off straight away, wouldn't you? And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shoves a card in my hand. Luxbourne Police Department, Ashton Frey, Detective Inspector. Nice. Nice. On it, his name Ashton Frey and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash.
I just love how the name changes. First it's Holmes, now that we know his name, it's Detective Frey.
If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible.
It's like there's two spellings for Marianne, like Marianne with the I-A-N-N-E, and Hannah always calls her Marianne, like two names.
You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy's quick on his feet, already up and at him, as soon as the numbers leave his lips. Alright, what do we got? Oh boy. What an eventful night for Marianne. The interior designer once again drank her frustrations away at the crawl bar. Albeit heavily intoxicated, she was seen chatting with Ashton Frey, a detective inspector working for the LPD, about Luke Wright. Before abruptly leaving, the detective left her his calling card. What else happened this night? Oh yeah, that's the absinthe and stuff like that. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pubgoers is enough to tire me out. As fast as he can, he is at the door and throws us a smile. That's all we get before he's gone, just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Great. Swimming in cocktails, lovely. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh god, fuck no, not again.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. Okay, phew. Man. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
She has such a lovely voice, and when it gets distorted like that, it's just creepy. The moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it. In between my exasperation of Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that. Burying my feelings as deep as they buried her body, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than the ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see.
Oh, that's right. This is the conversation I was having when I was asking for advice.
That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
I thought it all sounded familiar. Anyway, it's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. And I've somehow been roped into being their relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband, but it's never enough for her. sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best sort of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk in answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words would be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest though, they're of some help to me. Like some weight have been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you.
Knowing what we know now, this whole conversation has a different sort of tone to it, doesn't it?
You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead. I shouldn't just carelessly forget about them too. Saying that I have work to have to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlour, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wrights' grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what's probably the most powerful couple in Locksbourne. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. Fuck, that's where the mirror is. Marianne, what are you doing? But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful, neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just think of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone who I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then, he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with the surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot.
Oh,
Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
Yeah, I didn't snoop around when I had the chance, back when I was listening to the Wrights. The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding their treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So, just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble.
Thank you, Johannes, for keeping us out.
Both the Bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But
Please, it's really important.
15 minutes. 9. 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself.
okay, he's leading us through. Damn it.
The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious vine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. Oh, jeez. It's a pretty big cellar, actually. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. The mirror that had been moved from the study is my goal, right there at the end there. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just for one more time, keeps coming back to mind. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop when I feel something crunchy beneath my feet. Oh shit. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler had escorted through here before. And it made a downright mess, with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination can easily mistake it for blood. I can't help but think it is, despite the easy, logical explanation that had come to my mind, only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar, where the mirror stands. Oh boy. Propped up on the far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbid to think this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires, and then twists it into an image so dark. That's what I'd seen that day. Though I heard Lorraine many times, I'd only seen her here within its frame. I wonder if people have discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored, and how many were frightened away by what they saw? Yet as I stand before it now, nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in this darkness.
How does this even work? Mirror, mirror on the wall?
Is it even the mirror that causes it?
Something? Anything?
Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There's no sudden surge of power and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays what it is. A mirror. Was Lorraine's appearance in the mirror some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burdened with guilt and despair that my mind would eat itself in my stress and have me hallucinate such things? Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long gone must warrant me a trip to a doctor. Already, I feel ill. Whew, it's gone. After a few more minutes, in the hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I could just go back upstairs, like nothing ever happened. Perhaps drop by the party for some hors d'oeuvre, then go home and collect myself. Besides, Mrs. Wright is expecting me and I'm...
Going to leave me again then, are you?
Oh my god. I stop in my tracks, but I don't turn back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. If I'm just hearing her again, desperately delusional, and I look back to see nothing, I don't want to give myself false hope. But when I feel fingers around my wrists pull at me, I look back in shock. Oh shit. My first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? Is this like a physical person? And the second is Lorraine. Her hands are cold.
Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne?
I don't know what to say, and I can only stare at her and wonder. She stands there, in the mirror, with only her arm extended outward for my sake. I look at the hand still holding my wrist, and when she sees me looking at it, she moves it so that our hands are intertwined, fingers weaved together. Seeing her there, and feeling her touch, meant I'm not crazy, though however impossible and unexplainable this is all to me right now. It just takes my breath away. Pulling her out from there is tempting. I can imagine doing so with ease. We can be together again, Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing had ever happened. But that would all be a great big lie, wouldn't it?
What? Tack out your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something.
Even if this thing were some magic portal that could bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown woman, it serves no other reason than to break the illusion that blinds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, if this isn't some delusion, then why could she only exist behind the glass?
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
I'm not very happy to see you at all, Lorraine.
It's been so long.
Stay behind that mirror.
You don't look happy.
Oh, fuck. She heard me.
I really am happy, but at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened. To you.
And what does that mean? What are you saying?
She gives me this peculiar look, and before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm Afraid?
I don't know how this is possible. But whatever this is, it isn't real. You can't be real.
I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need?
No, I see you. I hear you. I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead.
A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart in two, seeing her wear that expression.
Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare lie. But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you. As long as you stay with me, Marianne.
What?
That's why you came down here, right? To find me?
That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. But this isn't just closure. This is something else entirely. I didn't think I would be forced to make such a choice. Do I leave or do I stay? No, I'm not trusting. No, you are not real. I'm moving on. We're moving on. Please let me go. Closure, that's all I came here for. Whatever this is, it might as well be just a devil's trick. And I might as well make some use of it, right? I say nothing at first, for fear of angering whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it up to my lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back into the mirror until only her arm is extended again.
I should have been more honest back then. Both to you and myself.
Like, it's not real. We can't trust it. It's probably the ghost. We've got to move on. Like, seriously, we're not staying with her.
I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But...
Like, just look at that smile. Do you trust that smile? I don't trust that smile. But the thought of being with the dead did not agree with me. Not one bit.
I can't stay with you.
Goodbye, my first love.
So what? You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife? That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see.
This is a mistake.
All these years, guilt has been my driving force. I felt so guilty for what I did. What I didn't do.
She thinks she can guilt me into being complacent. But she realizes otherwise as I pull my hand from her. And, going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I'm not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chooses to give me. Guilt had run my life, and it might very well have ended it. Because I deserved it.
But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours.
Whoever or whatever the shadow is, my gut tells me she's not Lorraine, obviously. Yet, I keep talking as if she is.
I broke your heart, not your neck.
Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault!
Because I loved you more than I dared to admit? Yes, that was my fault. But I never meant to hurt you like that.
Despite my words, no matter how insincere they are, she appears angry. Enraged, in fact. It's been years since I last saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, and the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate what I'm about to do next. To my left, a wine rack. And from there, I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember. For all my sins. For every hurtful words I've uttered. For what I've driven her to do that day. What I forced her into.
What are you doing?
I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab a bottle and send it straight towards the mirror. Oh shit, that scream. Shards of the bottle and the mirror are sent flying everywhere as Lorraine's screams echo in the cellar. Bitter. Searing. Like every wounding accusation she hurled at me. They've never left me. I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from them. From her. Live my life as I should, free from the burden. Her burden. Because the Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I loved will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly.
It's done. It's done.
Good on you, Marianne. It's tough to move on from the past, man. Seriously.
Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine.
Especially when survivor's guilt is in play. I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremors still wrecking my hands, straightening out my jacket and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt at returning myself to someone resembling my normal self. This would probably be easy to do so with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a long time.
Well now, I should probably go back up there. Party to attend, rich socialites to do business with, and food to eat.
Can't you be saying this while you're walking?
Mrs. Wright will be happy if I make some time for it anyway.
Yet, one last time, to the shattered glass beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, Lorraine.
May you see God's light on the path.
Turning around to leave, and for good this time, the uneasy smile on my face falls as I see Lorraine, whole and well. Oh,
Come on, Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you? You get bonus points for trying.
oh God.
But you should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead.
She advances towards me, backing me against the wall. I can't even reach for another wine bottle without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she'd be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural.
That's not... You shouldn't be...
Just go away!
What? After the mirror? Did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me?
No, clearly we've ruined the frickin' later, haven't we?
You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer!
Stay back. You're not real. Leave me alone. Stop. I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please. Just get out of my head and leave me be.
I try to find an exit where there's a click. The next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. Oh shit. Where are we? Oh my god. I fall on my back and the door slams shut behind me. Behind closed doors. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. Desperate to deal with her painful past, Marianne McCulloch excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. Seeing her ghost in the wine cellar, however, a realization hit her and she finally let go. Okay, that's all we got. Okay. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, some sort of secret passage perhaps? An underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion's floor plans are a lot more than just a little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved though, at the idea that there's still a way to escape should that happen. That is way better than being trapped underground with... only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Mrs. Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. I imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johann's reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know with what that guy. One thing's for sure is that I would be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. No, George. That noise has me wary. Shit. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Ugh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
It flinches, the thing twitches. Oh shit. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. Run, run, run. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep running, even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
Keep running. Just keep freaking running, Marianne. There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly... I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
Leave her alone! There's only dread, seeing as how she's followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in.
Please. It's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne.
Fuck you, ghost.
Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
What are you?
Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut, and it just stands there staring. Is that a video camera? Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here.
Is that the letter that they're, like, reading or about to write?
Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though! It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea.
That's a sentence that's familiar.
Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously?
Maybe backpack. That Suarez kid would panic.
Suarez, isn't that Kylie? That sounds so familiar. Where would it be? Where would it be? On a Saturday, wasn't it? I remember because it was weird. Kylie Suarez, oh god.
Ghost? What? Spit it out!
Prank gone wrong.
Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell, the digital camera comes flickering to life, and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. What I had seen, students, judging by their St. Grady uniforms, they were holding...
That letter!
And that thing, the woman, she... Oh god, is she gonna kill me? Is that Lady Ermengarde? No! Is that the end? No way! Oh, whoops, back. While trying to escape the Phantom disguising as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of its cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. Oh my god. I think this is the end of Marianne's chapter. I'm not doing for sure, but I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this episode of The Letter. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am still. Oh my god. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game so far. And hopefully my choices have been okay, and if they've lined up with what you would have chosen. I've already made up my mind that I was right in not trying to stay with Lorraine. Clearly, she's the bloody ghost. Anyway, take care guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!